Hello there, welcome to part 2 of making a mini makeup palette. In my last video, I condensed my complexion and cream blush steps into this tiny palette for a month of travel. I'm so glad you all enjoyed that video. I promise it's very satisfying and not too scary seeing products being sliced, but fair warning, there are more jump scares and big cuts ahead in this episode. I'm no makeup artist, but I've always liked the idea of making a mini version of my routine using these Artist Kit Company palettes from New York. Turns out I just needed a 2-week carry-on only adventure that included a destination wedding to push me to do it. The proof is in the pudding, or the pile of products. So much bulky packaging transformed into a slim palette instead. I already enjoy fairly minimal beauty packing, love a travel makeup bag video. A new version's on the way featuring what I packed around these palettes because they obviously don't include mascara or skin tints. Foundation decanting coming soon. I also always decant my skincare for travel. Many previous videos on that below and a new one to come. Now please don't worry or come for me, no makeup was ruined in this process. With careful depotting or reshaping, your products will still be usable in their original packaging and in the palette. I did make the call to deconstruct some shadow sticks completely to fill the pans, but you usually only need a small amount of larger products, and the palettes are still in my makeup bag to enjoy beyond my trip. Quick tools recap, palettes and pans from Artist Kit Company. I stuck to the medium pans, so 10 per palette, shuts really tightly to protect the contents. You just have to open it from the corner, not the center. Next, makeup spatulas or palette knives to do the smushing, a palette or plate to do the smushing on, plenty of paper towel to do the wiping. The sides and base of the pans need to be neat before they go in, and you'll need to clean your tools between each product. Bonus, a hairdryer to soften any firmer products into their new pan home. My plan for palette 2 was eyes and lips. 5 cream shadows in the top row, creamy enough to decant without drying out hopefully, but solid enough that they would stay put. Liquid shadows are a no. Then 5 bolder lip colours to give me summery variety for holiday dinners. Now I know what you're thinking, how am I going to apply the bold matte lipsticks neatly from a palette? For everything else, I happily use my fingers, but I did pack a lip brush. Trinity London makes this 3-in-1 stick with different brush shapes, but I slimmed it down even further by just taking the lip brush and lid. I also had a different product selection strategy this time. In palette 1, I included a lot of favourites, but I was a little more unsure about the longevity of depotted shadows, so I wanted to use up products that might be a bit older anyway, I already had a backup of, or some that would be more affordable to repurchase later. My everyday colour plan was a rosy and bronze shimmer, mauvey tan and rose matte, and one more fun summer shade. I knew the Laura Mercier caviar stick in Desert Sand was going to be a hero item, so I packed that actual stick and shaped my other picks around it. First, my beloved Laura Mercier caviar stick in Bed of Roses, twisted all the way up and came out pretty neatly. This smushing was satisfying, perfect consistency for it. Don't forget to scrape out the stick in case there's extra product hiding inside. Pretty happy with that first eye pan. Same story twisting up this entire e.l.f. No Budge shadow stick in Copper Chic, but this time the whole thing came out. You can see from the grooves at the bottom, the way both halves fit in the pan perfectly equals perfect smushing, and a bit more product meant a more satisfying final swipe too. I chose this old Chanel Stilo Ombre et Contour shade Contour Mauve. I do have 2 of these. This one had broken inside, but it wasn't quite enough to spread the product, so I decided to take a little bit off my second stick too. Slightly stiffer formula than the first 2, but still flattened out okay. My Mecca Max Zoom Shadow Stick Matte in Dusty Rose also came out in one piece. Less of these shadow pans are full to the brim based on how much product I had left, so I don't get that really satisfying flat finished product, but they don't need to be full. This is still plenty to use on a trip. My old Nude Sticks Magnetic Matte Eye Colour in La Isla was already loose in the pencil, so I tried a new technique, inserting the spatula on an angle to ease it out, and it worked ridiculously well. In fact, I had more than I needed, so lucky for you, extra product means the extra smooth final swipe is back. Being loose in the pencil packaging meant I knew it was slightly dry to start with, so it did also crack in the pan eventually too, but it still worked, warming it up under my fingers. Remember my tip from last time? Work out your colour order before you start putting pans into the magnetic palette. I used the larger paint palette knife to place them this time, like I was picking up little slices of cake. Now, lipstick decisions. I knew I'd bring a few actual lipstick bullets to keep in my bag to reapply from, so I'll show you which shades made the cut next episode. I just could not bring myself to decapitate a Charlotte Tilbury or Chanel lipstick. I'm not that cold. So I tried to branch out for the palette and get more use out of brands or shades I don't reach for as often or wasn't as scared to slice. Colour brief, peachy, warm rosy, bricky, fiery red. Warning, this first slice is not a neat one. It's actually the direct opposite of neat. I went all in on this Sunny's Face Fluff Matte in Milkshake as a nudie, pinky peach, softer, blurred lip I could pat on with my fingers. Can we talk about how I was winging it but completely nailed the call on where to cut to fill the whole pan? Good start. A high-risk move here of trying but failing to ease out NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in Dolce Vita. The spatula on an angle trick did not work, so this was an exercise in sharpening, then digging out the product repeatedly, but we got there. A great, easy, warm rose, and I do still have a mini pencil in this shade at home. Now, I filmed this a while ago before my trip, and I'm reacting to the footage now, and I genuinely had no recollection of doing this, so trust me, I was just as shocked as you'll be to see me giving this Merit Signature Lip Matte in court the chop. I'm so sorry. I promise I will reshape this stunning corally brick bullet. It was just taking such a long time making both palettes back to back, and I was completely running out of time before I needed to leave for my trip. This was possibly an even braver call. I decided to depot part of my much-loved Gucci sheer lipstick in Goldie Red. Who remembers this one? Because it was already a well-used, quite strange shape, what's one more slice taken off at the same angle? This sheer warm red has served me well for many a summer day and night, and it's still alive in its lovely floral case too. After approximately 3 hours of filming and depotting, I lost the will to be neat. Apologies, Patrick Tar, Matt Swade in She's Not From Here. I wouldn't dare deface my sadly now discontinued Lisa Eldridge Velvet Morning, so this is the bright, bold red to turn up the heat. By this point, my concentration and coordination was rapidly deteriorating, so I just stuck my finger in the lipstick pan. That's fine, but it's also what's going to happen anyway, so no worries. Time to gently put the pans in place, and I'm very pleased to report that there are no bloopers this time. I'd actually gotten the hang of it. Oh my god. Except for that tiny spatula slip, but that's so easily covered up. It basically never happened. Once again, delighted with how this came together. Is it as aesthetically pleasing as the previous palette with these slightly more rustic spatula strokes? I still think it's a thing of beauty. That's a wrap on palette 2. My travel makeup bag is next. Please let me know if you'd be brave enough to ease your eyeshadows out of their sticks or chop your lip colours into a palette like this. The concept of eyeshadow and lip palettes is much more common anyway, so go on, enjoy yourself. Which shades or products would you be choosing? Thanks for watching. See you next time.